In 2003, Power Rangers was celebrating their 10-year anniversary. 10 years of colorful suits, giant robots, monster fights, and about 47 different Power Rangers, if I'm counting correctly. I didn't count the Phantom Ranger, but I did count Mike, so somewhere from 46 to 48 different Rangers, depending on who you count as one. But to celebrate this long history, Power Rangers released a special DVD disc called The Best of Power Rangers, The Ultimate Rangers, a disc set covering 5 different Power Rangers stories, some of them 2-parters, so in total the disc had 8 episodes, each arc from a different season. This disc serves as a highlight reel, the best Power Rangers had to offer over their history up until that point. And I actually had this disc as a kid. Probably not see it too well from here. Here's a closer look. And this disc is actually like really scratched from the back. And this served as my intro into the history of Power Rangers, as I was born in 2002, a year before this disc came out. And I have no idea when I got this disc, but I grew up watching the Disney era of Power Rangers. So this disc was how I first watched the first Saban run of Power Rangers. So this disc has the tall task of representing an entire era of Power Rangers, and in my opinion, 2 eras. I separate the Zordon era versus the rest of that Saban era. So let's see what episodes were chosen for this collection and take a look at all of them. So we kick things off with a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers 2-parter, White Light. We start things off with Bulk and Skull running around. This is the part of Mighty Morphin when Bulk and Skull were searching for the Power Rangers. And Kim gets a letter saying Tommy, who's apparently been gone, is coming back at the end of the week. And they're going to throw a big party for him. We cut to a pre-nerf Lord Zed. God, I miss him. He was so good. But he's planning on crashing the teens' party. We see Zach and Jason playing football with a guy named Curtis, who I think is supposed to be a White Ranger candidate red herring, just because they don't have name side characters often. Also, it's been a while since I've seen the season. I've seen the season's entirety before, but I don't remember some of the specifics. It's been probably years since I've seen it. But anyways, Zordon and Alpha are starting some top secret project, which seems to cause an imbalance in the Morphin grid. I honestly didn't realize the grid had been canon all this time. But he also drops that the Morphin grid is maintained by the struggle between Zordon and Zed. Yeah, that just can't be true. That doesn't, I don't think that makes sense. Zed gets monsterfied, spoiler. But Zed summons some new monster to keep the Rangers busy. Bulk and Skull witness a crazy explosion that gets the boys' attention. The explosion turns out to be Rita's dumpster, with her sleeping in it, and Bulk and Skull walk off with it. Billy and Jason get to it too late. Bulk and Skull already have it. And to show how hot the area is, we see this terrible heat effect on Billy. I thought it was like, I think when I was a kid, I thought that was not a heat thing. I thought it was just like a space monster thing, but I think that was just to show that it's hot. But Zach is still out playing football, but finds some slime. Oh, he smelt it, and he touched it. Oh, that's disgusting. Why did he do that? Okay. But he finds the statue that Zed was turning into some kind of monster. Why is it oozing? Why is it not already a monster? They always are able to summon monsters immediately. Not sure yet. But Zach alerts the others to the Sentinel statue, is what it's called, and Billy thinks it's Zed's handiwork. Zed sends some putties to distract them. They deal with them and then head to the command center. And we get a weird shot of the developing monster's face. But we finally see Tommy. Whew, missed you. Tommy flashes green and white light and then teleports away. Zed mentioned something about getting the Green Ranger by his side again earlier, so maybe you're supposed to think it's Zed taking him. If you're watching this video, I'm going to assume you know what happens. That's not what happens. At the command center, the Rangers can't find Zordon or Alpha, and the power is all turned off. Zed then activates his new monster. Why didn't he just do that already? He made it sound like he was waiting on it, but then he was able to just activate it. Okay. But our Rangers are at Billy's lab, and he's analyzing the command center. But then the monster attacks. So our Rangers finally morph and get into action. The monster quickly goes big, and our team calls on the power of thunder, and they go mega. Then the monster summons her two sisters for the fight. Almost immediately puts the Rangers on their asses, and Billy flees back to the command center. At the command center, Billy finds some new random door of light, and then falls into... Oh my god, that is dated. But he finds Zordon and Alpha making a new Ranger, a White Ranger. So apparently all the Rangers fled that fight from earlier. That was not made clear. It just looked like Billy left. But anyways, Billy, back at his lab, tell the other Rangers what he saw. A new Ranger. They get upset that Tommy isn't getting the new powers. They don't know who it is, including it being Tommy or not. I don't know why they assumed it's not, but they do recognize that they need some reinforcements. Zordon and Alpha then summoned the Rangers to meet the new Ranger, the White Power Ranger, who they claim is even more powerful than the Green Ranger. They build it up like crazy, and it's Tommy. I mean, obviously it's Tommy. He flashed green and white earlier this episode. And Kim fell down. Okay. They hype up Tommy and say his new powers are made by the forces of good and can't be taken by evil forces. And they anoint Tommy the leader of the Power Rangers. I gotta pause my script. I gotta talk about this. I do not like this. I already kind of don't... I don't even know how I feel about, and it varies season to season, maybe the way the whole season's set up can change it, but I don't even necessarily like the mentor anointing a leader instead of one naturally forming. I'm trying to remember if Jason was explicitly anointed in the beginning. Maybe he was. Maybe Zordon said, you're the leader. But regardless of anything, Jason's the better leader. Like, this decision sucks. I don't like it. Like, Jason's been there the entire time. He's been through it all. And he just gets pushed aside for Tommy in a new suit. I just don't like that. I've always been more of a Jason guy than a Tommy guy. I know that's probably, well, maybe it's a little, well, no, because the actor was wild. But I think just because I think some people got sick of Tommy being everywhere, maybe that became a little more popular of an opinion. But for the most part, I think it's more Tommy fans than Jason fans. But I was a Jason guy, and I do not like them kicking my boy to the curb. It's just weird. And Tommy is a leader for longer throughout all of Power Rangers than Jason. Jason was better. Like, Jason is the better leader. Like, it just comes across more natural. Like, Tommy, he's missing something. I think he loses his edge. Like, I feel like at this point, like, Green Ranger Tommy, there was like a cool edge to him. White Ranger Tommy, Red Ranger Tommy is kind of boring a little bit. I'm sorry. Black Ranger Tommy, it all picks back up. That's him at his peak. But yeah, I wish they didn't do this. Jason still should have stayed the leader. But anyways, the monsters start attacking again, but the Rangers' Zords are being repaired. So Billy and Trini go to help with the Zord repair. And then Bulk and Skull are about to open Rita's dumpster. Something they've been trying to do all episode. So Jason, Zach, and Kim go to stop them. Then Tommy, by himself, with his new Zord and talking sword, Saba, are sent to take on the monsters. And by the way, Tommy is now extra animated while being the White Ranger, because in the Sentai, the White Ranger is a literal kid. Why? I don't know. I'll have to check out the Sentai at some point. But okay, Tommy starts getting overwhelmed a little bit with the sisters, so Jason, whose Zord is now fixed, I guess, summons his Zord and combines with the White Tiger Zord, with the Red Ranger Zord in warrior mode, riding the White Tiger and knocking around the monsters. Yeah, kind of makes it look a little too easy given how hard this fight was earlier. But Tommy has his White Tiger go warrior mode, then combine with every Zord but Jason's to form the Mega Tiger Zord and finish off the sisters. Then Jason's Zord daps up the new Megazord. That shit was kind of hard. I am not gonna lie. I did like that a lot. Back with Bulk and Skull, Rita got out of her dumpster, although she's tiny. But she calls Bulk and Skull a human squat and babu, and the fear of Rita puts them to sleep. But the Rangers show up just in time to put her back into her dumpster. Bulk and Skull then wake up and just get gaslit by the Rangers.
Don't look behind us. There's a little witch.
What are you guys talking about?
And then the Rangers do something that blows my mind. They send Rita's dumpster back into space. Why? Why not just hide her somewhere safe? This is a bad decision, and it's proven to be a bad decision later on. But back at the youth center, the team celebrates Tommy's return, and Trini talks to some random guy. I don't remember this guy's fucking name. He was also just another White Ranger red herring, I think. Here, let me look it up. Richie! That's just not ringing a bell. This is not a memorable character. Sorry, Richie. But he does cause Bulk and Skull to get caked. So, plus for him. Oh, and Curtis is here too. Do we see him again? Do we see Richie, or Curtis again? Let me look that up as well. Apparently Curtis is Zach's cousin. Didn't know that. And yes, we do see him again for one more episode. And then Richie gets 2 more episodes after this. But apparently he was in 12 episodes total. Everyone's favorite man, Richie. All right, but that's the end of the White Light arc.
The most powerful force in the world is back to take on its most important mission of all time.
Pikachu! Pikachu, let's go!
Brandon, what the hell are you showing us? Pokemon? So, in this disc, I saw a sneak peek tab, and I was like, oh, cool. There might be more content in here than just the episodes. I don't even really remember this stuff. Also, I loved bonus features when I was a kid. If a disc had bonus features, your boy was checking them out. The highlight of bonus features in a disc, and I remember like little kid, like in a bed with my siblings, and we're staring at the TV. We got the bonus feature for Shrek. I think it was Shrek 2. Yeah, it had to have been Shrek 2. And there's like, they have like the American Idol, X Star, X Factor, whatever the hell, and Simon Cowell is there, and you get to see all the performances and pick a winner. That was fun as hell. If you picked a bad performance, Simon Cowell's like, nope, I'm not letting them win. I win. But anyways, I was like, cool. There's something here on this disc. All it is ads. It's dead ass just ads for other stuff. The first one you saw here was Pokemon Forever.
Pokemon Forever. Now available on DVD and video.
Why are ads in this fucking thing? Anyways, that blew my mind. But anyways, to the next episode arc in Power Rangers, the Ultimate Rangers. All right, next one, like several season jump from Mighty Morphin Season 2. We have Power Rangers in Space, Countdown to Destruction, the 2-part finale of that season. And it starts with Dark Spectre telling Astronema to summon all of his forces. She gives a little evil dictator-style speech, hyping up the foot soldiers. The Machine Empire attacks. Divatox attacks the Alien Rangers. We then see Zed and Rita saying they won't listen to Astronema, but she says Dark Spectre himself put her in charge, and they just cower and say they'll listen. Told y'all, I miss pre-nerf Lord Zed. Miss him every day. But we see that Astronema has Zordon chained up, and I think is like slowly draining him or killing him or something. Regardless, she has him captured. And she makes Zordon watch the Phantom Ranger get jumped. Oh, and the Blue Centurion is there too. I don't know why she only mentioned the Phantom Ranger. Blue Centurion not respected like that. But Zed and Rita are jumping the Gold Zeo Ranger. You know what? I'm feeling this. The stakes feel high. This does feel grand in scale. Maybe the greatest scale Power Rangers has ever felt. At least in, perfect execution. Zordon is trying to connect with Curation, but it's not working. Curation being who Astronema really is. Astronema is a little programmed right now. Zane is working with human, or at least human-like resistance forces, and leaves to go get the other Rangers, but gets attacked in space. Now, the effects look bad, but I still find it charming, and I do like when Power Rangers does these space battles. The Astro Mega Ship and the other Rangers save Zane, then Zane saves them. The Rangers get together and analyze all the attacks. When 1,000, and this looks like it could be even fucking more than that, 1,000 of the enemy ships head for Earth. Brother, we are not built to handle that. We see the villains start their attack on Earth, and dude, they're destroying everything. Power Rangers can't show us people dying, but brother, they're definitely dying in these fucking buildings. The main 5 Rangers deploy down to the ground to help out, while Zane stays to control the Astro Mega Ship. The Rangers beat up on some grunts to save some civilians. Happy to see the Rangers actively help real civilians. Some seasons miss a little more of like civilian population and Ranger interactions. This episode is that at its best. Dark Honda, a main villain from the season, starts fighting too, but we see Andros activate his Battleizer. This was the first ever Battleizer in Power Rangers, by the way, and starts fighting back. But Ecliptor knocks him out of the sky, depowering him, and then Ashley gets to power too, so her and Andros have to. Zane comes down to Earth and the Mega Winger to take out some of the some of the villain grunts' little spaceships. But he starts to get overwhelmed and gets defeated. The rest of the Rangers get depowered too, and they have to retreat. Our Rangers are just getting overwhelmed by the sheer amount of villains they have to face. Humans are starting to get rounded up by the villains, and our heroes regroup, tattered and angry with how they're getting smacked around. Back on the villain side of things, we see Dark Honda, who is on their last life, decides it's time for him to strike. He's tired of being under someone else's say. Dark Honda takes some planet-destroying weapon that they were going to use to destroy Earth, but instead kills Dark Spectre with it, and Astronema is very concerned.
Dark Spectre! What's going on?
Probably could have put a little bit more juice into that one. But Dark Honda spins back around to kill Astronema and Ecliptor, but Dark Spectre kills him right before dying himself, and his body parts literally rain down onto Earth. Ecliptor holograms, or something equivalent, to all villains that Astronema is now in charge, so the villains literally worship her. The Rangers overhear a woman comfort her kid, saying the Rangers will come and save them. But they watched, still depowered. Tough. Zordon still is trying to reason with Astronema, and it seems to start to break through to her, but she holds on, claiming to be the Queen of Evil, and advances the attack on Earth. Astronema comes down to Earth, looking for the Rangers, saying if the Rangers aren't brought to her, she will destroy the Earth, giving them, I think it was a day, for the Rangers to be brought to her. At night, we see the civilians talking, beginning to fear that the Rangers left them, abandoned them. Then Bulk rallies them, saying the Rangers wouldn't leave them and they need faith. I love actually hearing from the human population and their perspective and thoughts during these insanely catastrophic times. Our Rangers are talking about what to do when Zane comes in, still hurt, and says the Winger was destroyed, and that the rebels have surrendered, meaning the Rangers are on their own. The Rangers debate rallying the citizens to help fight, but they don't want to endanger them. Andros says he thinks he can still reason with Astronema and get to his sister, but the other Rangers try to tell him his sister's gone, but he just won't accept it. The other Rangers start to talk battle strategy, but Andros sneaks off and is about to leave when Ashley confronts him. He says he has to try to get to his sister and is going to leave to try. The next day, Astronema comes back to Earth and is angered the Rangers haven't given themselves over and orders the destruction of Earth. But then Bulk, Skull, and the other civilians all claim they are the Power Rangers. You know, I am Spartacus type moment. So they start getting attacked. But then the real Power Rangers show up and reveal themselves for real, inspiring the civilians even more, so the Rangers and civilians fight side by side against the forces of evil. We cut to Andros sneaking on Astronema's ship, sabotages it to cause a distraction, locking the doors to keep the other villains out, and then he finds Zordon, who says the forces of evil have captured most of the universe. Insane. And that Andros must destroy his tube to release his energy to purge the universe of all evil. So Andros goes to do it, readies his saber, is ready to swing, but he cannot bring himself to do so. He cannot take Zordon's life for the sake of everyone else's. Then Astronema appears. So Andros tries to get through to Curation, his sister that he's spent a lot of this show looking for, holding on to hope of finding and reconnecting with. But it's just not working. So she just tosses him around. But then Andros deflects an attack that she gave him back onto her. And she's out of it. But then Ecliptor gets into the room, furious at Andros, claiming he saw Astronema as a daughter. So the two of them start fighting. Andros finally listens to Zordon, destroys his energy tube, releasing a wave of energy that just deletes most villains, turning them to dust. But it turns Zed and Rita into normal people. Why the fuck? We know that's not what Zed even looked like before he was a muscle man. He looked like this. But whatever. Divatox also just turned into some woman in a white dress now. On Earth, the Rangers wonder what happened to Andros. Then Astronema's ship approaches, and the Rangers assume the worst for Andros. But then he emerges, carrying his sister. Thinking she's dead, he starts crying, losing something he thought he had lost years ago. But then she changes into a normal woman. Why did she not get an immediate change? Outstanding question. We don't know. But our heroes have won the day, and we see them helping out on KO-35. And this is when Andros and Ashley have a very sweet moment, and the actors talked about having filmed a kissing scene. This has to have been where it was. I think that makes the most sense. But Andros decides to stay on his home planet as the other Rangers head back to Earth. So the two of them have an emotional goodbye. But what's that? Oh yeah, Andros is going with them. Really quick fake out. I don't know why they felt the need to give us a little whiplash there of emotions. But he changed his mind, as well as Zane and Curation. So all our heroes fly back to Earth together, ending Power Rangers in space. And at the time, thought to be Power Rangers as a whole. This was supposed to be when Power Rangers ended. But obviously, it's not. Also, this episode ends with credits with bloopers. Peak. Anytime something does that, it's fucking amazing. But that is it for In Space in this great collection.
X-Men. Own it on video and for the first time ever on DVD April 29th. And coming to DVD and video June 17th. The Incredible Hulk.
Holy it was a 2-for-1 ad? That means there's like 6 ads in this thing. What the fuck was this? Anyways, to the next Power Rangers arc. Now for Power Rangers Lost Galaxy to the 10th Power. This is a fun one. The episode starts off with Deviat doing some deal to get the reboot cards for 5 villains, which he claims he upgraded their strength. So, at the villain lair, he reboots 5 of the greatest villains in all of Power Rangers history, the Psycho Rangers. known for being the most effective counter to a Ranger team. Used to fight the In-Space Rangers, put Bell to ass a lot of times, but now we'll have to see how the Lost Galaxy Rangers can handle them. But a mysterious cloaked figure is seen tracking the deal that happened. Who is he? Back to the villains, we see that they have put collars on the Psycho Rangers to be able to control them and send them after specific Rangers and not just their corresponding color like they want. Or that's what the show says, and then it immediately sends them to their corresponding color like they want. First, they go after Maya and Damon, seemingly capturing them. Obviously, Yellow takes Maya, but since Lost Galaxy doesn't have a Black Ranger, Psycho Black takes Damon. Because he's green. Green and black kind of alternate. That's why. We then cut to Kai and Kendrick's fighting Psycho Blue and Pink, and they take them. We cut to Leo training when he hears a kid crying, who, when he comforts, attacks him, turning into Psycho Red. Crazy strategy. But Leo is the only Ranger that manages to morph to fight his villain. But Psycho Red still gets the upper hand. And Psycho Red flexes on him, low-key.
Who are you? You don't know me? I'm Psycho Red.
Kind of creepy. But the cloaked figure from earlier swoops in and saves Leo. Who could it be?
Thanks. Whoever you are.
Oh shit, it's Andros, who Leo recognizes. Leo says he was there when the In-Space Rangers saved Earth. On a broad sense, everyone was there, but I'm gonna take that as he was like in the fucking mix of it. This probably should have come up sooner, but it doesn't. But Andros promos Psycho Red.
Who is Psycho Red? Everything you are, except he's exactly the opposite, and twice as powerful.
Leo and Andros meet up with Mike and Alpha on the Astro Megaship, which Lost Galaxy is using this season too. And Alpha and Andros have a cute little reconnect. Andros then grabs his old Morpher, which was left on the Astro Megaship, and starts to form a plan with the other guys, leaving the other Morphers behind. We see the villains have the other Rangers held hostage to lure Leo in, which he does in a tough-ass way, with Andros following suit. Psycho Red is pissed.
Bet you didn't expect to see me again.
And the Reds lure out the other Psychos. Back on the ship, we see some people are retrieving the other Morphers. But who could it be? We see 4 people snag the other Morphers, all wearing the same kind of jacket, it seems. We cut back to the action, and we see Mike sneak in and free the other Rangers. The Psychos face off against the 7 Rangers.
How about 11 of us? Huh?
Oh shit, it's the other In-Space Rangers. Someone's missing. Where's Zane? Don't know. So everybody morphs. Tough-ass explosion. But the fight starts. Each pair of Rangers of the same color take on their corresponding Psycho, with Mike having to handle a 1v2 against 2 general-level enemies. These are probably some of the better fight scenes in Power Rangers, at least visually. They kind of lock in on some of these crossovers. All the Rangers take care of their Psychos, and even Mike takes care of who he was fighting. Then, all our Rangers use their best weapons, Spiral Saber, the In-Space Blaster, and the Lights of Orion to destroy the Psycho Rangers. All of them, for good. Right? The team mingles on the ship. Carlos said Alpha sent for the other Rangers, and the In-Space Rangers ask for a tour. Really cute. Why are we getting a shot of this wreckage? And, oh my god. Psycho Pink is alive. Well, surely that won't cause any trouble. Yeah, that is the one episode. Only one episode, unfortunately. This is the first crossover we see in this collection here. But that is it for the Lost Galaxy portion.
This time, he's on his way to something even bigger. His sequel, George of the Jungle 2.
This is insane to me. They included a George of the Jungle 2 trailer in this DVD, this being the sequel to the Brendan Fraser movie where they replaced Brendan Fraser. And if you notice during this trailer, they don't show George's face at all. He's just swinging around faceless. Probably just shouldn't have made the movie. Anyways, to the next arc in this great DVD collection here. Now it's time for Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue, Trakeena's Revenge. This episode starts off on Miranoi, the Lost Galaxy planet? Okay, it's in the rain, it's very cinematic, and we see Leo grab his Quasar Saber once more.
Oh, death. Become my blade once more.
Immediately morphs and starts fighting some enemies, but they all flee to Earth. We then see a mom and daughter playing hide and seek, and low-key, the kid's cracked. Good fucking strategy here. But then they see the Lightspeed Rescue Rangers drive off, showing they don't have secret identities, and them having like a police or ambulance-like siren on their car is awesome. We see the Rangers saving people from a burning building. Unrelated to anything that's going on, I like seeing the Rangers do some more heroing outside of monsters. Like, I would like to see Rangers stop, like, smaller crimes more often, or administer relief to non-monster related incidents. This is pretty cool to see. We see the fame-chasing nature of Joel shown off in this crossover. But we cut back to the mom and daughter as they visit the dad's office, but instead, the mom gets taken by monsters. And we see they're capturing and shrinking people, which is what happened to her husband, and now they're in little jars side by side. And the enemies start draining their life force. And that energy seems to be going towards some mysterious, villainous woman who's jealous when the monster guy can turn into a regular human. Interesting. That same little girl is trying to tell an adult when this woman says there's no such thing as monsters. Bitch, what? You live in a Power Rangers world, in a city that houses a team of Rangers. You should know there's monsters. You should listen to her. Just see it. Just humor her. This is so fucking stupid. The monster then tries to steal the little girl, disguised as like a dude. But she somehow manages to escape. This is the dumbest. This is a stupid way to get out. But anyways, it's then revealed that the life energy that's being stolen is for Trakeena, the Lost Galaxy villain, who plans to get revenge on the Rangers and then force the Lightspeed Rescue villains to work for her. The little girl is crying outside when Carter Grayson, this season's Red Ranger, finds her. And she tells him her mother got taken away by monsters. And he doesn't seem to quite believe her, but then the monster in disguise returns the ball that she kicked earlier. But Carter does not like this guy's vibe, so Carter follows him to see what's up. Good red. The little girl's also following him, and Carter tries to get her to leave, but instead lets her help him. We then cut to the other four Rangers who almost hit a guy in the street, but then they recognize him. Leo Corbett. And this reveal is used in like an all-time Power Ranger edit with an insane aura lob.
What's going on? Hey, you're Leo.
Leo tries to warn them about Trakeena, but they get attacked by ghouls, the same grunts that Leo fought earlier, who they managed to defeat. Back to Carter and Heather, that little girl's name. They're chasing the monster. They end up getting attacked by ghouls themselves, and Leo starts getting knocked around, and they go after the girl. No! Yo, he meant that shit. He put his soul into that. But then Kai and Maya, the Lost Galaxy Rangers, come in and help fend off the ghouls, but Heather faints. They take Heather back to the Lightspeed Rescue underwater base thing. At the base, the Lightspeed Rescue Rangers and the 3 Lost Galaxy Rangers we've seen so far are all together, and Leo explains what's been going on to them. The Rangers are about to leave for the fight, and Heather wants to help because she's a junior ranger, which Carter called her earlier. and they fucking let her go with them. Why? No, like, dead ass, why the fuck would you do that? That is so stupid and so dangerous. I was already iffy when Carter was letting her help earlier. This is way too far. But they run up on the people-stealing monster and his ghouls, and they all morph and start fighting. They take care of the grunts, and they start fighting Tri-Skull, this monster's name. And the first part of this two-parter ends with him putting belt to ass on the Rangers, and Heather just yelling. So the second part starts with all our Rangers demorphed, and Carter enlisting Heather to do something, which is not yet revealed. Then we see Olympius, main general for the season, telling his mother, Banshira, main villain for the season, that Tri-Skull is reviving Trakeena, and they plan to attack him and poison Trakeena, because they say that they cannot let her get to green. That is said multiple times throughout this arc. We see on Miranoi, the final 2 Quasar Sabers are pulled from the stone. They don't show us who. I wonder who it could be. Carter then tells Heather to go in and pull the fire alarm. And she says,
"What? My daddy told me I should never do that, except in an emergency."
Girl, what the fuck? This is so obviously an emergency. Plus, Carter Grayson is literally a firefighter. That is his day job. But she goes in and does it with the most hesitancy ever. Also, Carter, you could also just pull this fire alarm. But the building starts to evacuate, and the Rangers, all disguised as firefighters — well, I guess Carter's not technically disguised, he just is. They all enter the building, make sure everyone evacuates. This might be one of the smartest, at least in terms of human safety, like in regards for human safety, plans in Power Rangers history, getting all the people out of that building. But Carter and Leo both morph and start to fight Tri-Skull. And Carter just locks in and gives him a fucking super punch, and he just explodes. Several Rangers fought him earlier, they lost. One punch from Carter, he's out. Makes no sense. The Reds find the villain lab and all the captured humans, but then they get attacked by ghouls, and they're losing, but then...
Where's the cavalry when you really need it?
You call?
Well, that was convenient. The heroes beat the ghouls and are about to free the humans, but then Trakeena attacks, tossing our heroes out of the building. Oh, this is another dated thing. Oh my god, that actually might be worse. But our heroes are fine. Then our team of heroes are all together when Olympius shows up ready to fight. So both teams morph to fight. Always epic as shit. They first handle the grunts, all the matching colors paired up. Then Damon starts fighting Olympius by himself and gets smoked. While all the fighting is happening, Trakeena starts her transformation, going green. What everyone said they couldn't let happen. So Olympius dips, but not before infecting Trakeena's transformation, turning it into this giant fucking beast. Lightspeed Rescue then summons their Megazords, and they start fighting Beast Keena. Beast form of Trakeena. But it does not go well. Then the Galactabeasts show up. So the Lost Galaxy team goes Megazord mode as well. This combined power lets them kind of blow up Trakeena's beast form, but causes the Galaxy Megazord to go back to their Galactabeast forms. But Beast Keena is still moving around. So the Lightspeed Rescue team grabs the Lost Galaxy Rangers, and the Lights of Orion allow them to enter the Lightspeed Megazord and power it up, which gives them enough juice to finally beat Beast Keena. And I think this might be the only instance in Power Rangers of two different teams' Rangers having their Megazords kind of combined in a way. I could be wrong. Then we see the aftermath with Heather being reunited with her parents. Only hugs and gets a hug from her mother. Yo, Dad, what the fuck? All this traumatic shit happens and you just hit her with a fucking little shoulder. Good shit. Good shit out there. That was nice. No, you solid. What the, hug your fucking daughter! Anyways, Damon tries to give his autograph to the female Galaxy Rangers, and the Lightspeed Rescue Rangers want the Galaxy Rangers to stay, but they say that they are needed on Miranoi. But Damon says he might stay for a little as he puts both his arms around the female Lightspeed Rescue Rangers. I might be speaking out of place for this. Why did they make both Black Rangers so horny? I feel like, isn't that a stereotype? I could be wrong. Maybe I shouldn't speak on it, but I was like, all right, why those two specifically? But then we get a cool outro shot of both teams just ending in an excellent, cool way. But that is everything with the Lost Galaxy Lightspeed Rescue team up in Trakeena's Revenge.
The Orgs are back.
Even now, our armies are being reborn.
Bent on destruction, only one thing stands between them and global domination.
I think it's time for some animal power. Ugh.
Power Rangers, Wild Force. 5 new Power Rangers with all new Zords are kicking into high gear.
Let's finish this.
And kicking the Orgs off the planet. New to video, 2 feature-length Power Rangers Wild Force Adventures, Lionheart and Ancient Awakening. Now available to own for the first time ever.
All right, we get a cool little tease for some Wild Force DVDs. I wonder if we'll get a chance to see anything Wild Force related in this disc set. Oh, this next one? I'm getting word. This next one is maybe the best episode in Power Rangers history that is in Power Rangers Wild Force. Let's check it out. We're here. Power Rangers Wild Force Forever Red. You know this episode. Let's dive in. Fade into the moon. We see a bunch of cogs digging up the ground as they have found something big. We see Andros in his signature cloak spying on them. Wait, aren't they on the moon? How the hell? Wait, hold on. Wait, aren't they on the moon? How is he breathing? Are those fucking horses that the machines are using? But Andros gets chased off the moon, managing to escape. We then see Bulk and Skull, who, now that I think about it, they're in the most episodes in this collection. They're out of, I think they're in both. So they're in both White Light episodes, both Destruction episodes. They're in 5 out of 8. That's insane. They're working some poolside bar and get a phone call, and they nervously give it to one of their guests. And I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Obviously, this is Tommy Oliver. Why would they be scared? They have known this guy for years. And yeah, they bumped heads a little when they were younger, but they matured, and Tommy was never, like, mean to them. Chirped back, but sure, but why the fuck are they scared? Anyways, we see Carter Grayson go and recruit this season's Red Ranger, Cole Evans from Wild Force, to a top secret mission that only he can go on because he's the Red. Right in front of the other Rangers who don't speak. I know that affects the money they get from this episode. I don't know. I don't even know if the actors from this show get residuals in general. I don't think they do. They definitely don't if they don't speak, but I don't know how it even works. We're going to keep going. But then Carter brings Cole into a hangar where we meet Wes, the Time Force Red Ranger, and then Eric, the Quantum Ranger. But Wes had already met them. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see that. But then we also meet TJ, Turbo Red, and Andros in Space Red, and it's revealed that Tommy, Zeo Red, summoned them all for this mission. Tommy says some of the Machine Empire's forces are on the moon, preparing to invade Earth. And the team is going to take the Astro Megaship Mark II. Newly made, but seemingly the same. Tommy says that they all have to make their own decision to go on this mission. But of course, they all agree to go. They're the Red Rangers. Andros asks if there was another Red Ranger on Earth, and that's when he pulls up. Jason, the original Red Ranger of Earth, at least in like the TV show continuity, Mighty Morphin Red. He swerves Cole's handshake, low-key. He kind of gives Cole like some rookie hazing throughout this episode. But then we get the best dap-up in Power Rangers history between Jason and Tommy.
You didn't think I was going to let you do this without the original Red Ranger, did you?
Ugh, clean. We then get a slow-mo walk and the team flies off. We cut to the main villain giving his fascist-style rallying speech not the first one we've seen in this collection. Then bam, we cut to Leo taking out the Quasar Saber once again. Tommy gives the team more briefing and a history of the Machine Empire and says the remaining forces are being led by General Venjix. Hold up. It's not that, but that might be a name used for another future Power Rangers season's villain. Maybe I'll talk about that season another time. That's when Jason says they're digging for Serpentera, the most powerful Zord in Power Rangers history. It is a massive beast and enough to destroy Earth. The Rangers then invade the enemy base, and we get some unmorphed Rangers fighting Cogs. And we have got some fun fight choreography. The fighting in this episode might be the best Power Rangers I've ever had. Definitely up there. Each Red Ranger gets their own time to shine in the fight, but the generals start to head for Serpentera themselves. So Cole runs after them, gets blasted by Venjix, but gets saved by Leo, Lost Galaxy Red, and Oriko, the Red Alien Ranger. The Rangers reconvene and Leo unmorphs, but then the generals appear, and they all, including Leo, morph to battle. And it is probably the best morph sequence in Power Rangers history. It's just epic, man. It's cool as fuck. But this does mean Leo unmorphed just to morph like 2 seconds later. He wanted the sequence. Kind of funny. But also, this morph sequence might also be the longest in Power Rangers history because each Ranger does it individually. But the meme of the villains just watching while all the Rangers do all their craziness, never more fitting than in this moment. But the Rangers all pair off to fight a different general. We get Leo and Jason, the vet and the rookie, taking on Venjix, the main baddie here. We have Wes and Tommy taking on Griok, I think. Eric and Oriko team up to fight the only female general, I'm pretty sure. And this pairing is fun as they're both the only Reds here to not be the leaders of their team. And then we get Leo and TJ teaming up to fight this general, using their swords in a really cool way. And finally, we have Andros and Carter blasting this general. Just some of the most fun blaster play we've ever seen in Power Rangers. And in fact, like I said earlier, the fight choreography in this episode might be the best Power Rangers ever had. This sequence here might be my personal favorite fight sequence in all of Power Rangers. It's just really fun. They did not hold back this episode. And this is some of the rare, like, American exclusive stuff. But all the generals get defeated and all of them destroyed except for Venjix, who runs into Serpentera and takes off. I mean, that's it. This is the most powerful Zord ever. There's no way they can defeat it. Except Cole takes it out by himself with a flying motorcycle. Okay. Sequence was cool, so we're gonna let it slide. It dated CGI at times, but since it was fucking epic way to destroy a giant Chinese Dragon Zord, we're gonna be cool with it, guys. But this earns the respect of Jason, kind of ending their mini arc of the vet kind of downplaying the rookie. The human Rangers all say goodbye on Earth, and as Tommy struts away, Cole calls him the greatest Ranger ever, which he is. But all the other Rangers shoot that down, and they all honestly have fair points.
I've discovered new galaxies. Hey, wait. I changed history. So why does he have a fan club and I don't?
Hey, I saved 2 worlds.
Except for TJ.
Wait. Did I ever tell you guys about the time I got baked in a giant pizza?
Well, alright, didn't need to bring that one up, buddy. But the Reds laughing and joking together ends the episode. And that ends all of the arcs we have in this Best of Power Rangers Ultimate Rangers DVD disc. This was amazing to watch.
Catch the musical excitement of the Power Rangers with the Best of Power Rangers. 16 rockin' songs on one CD.
What? Okay, Power Rangers is not really known for its music outside of the theme songs. Did anybody buy this disc? Was anybody buying albums from Power Rangers? Please comment that down below if you did. I would love to hear from you. But that is now everything that was in this disc. This was jam-packed. This was special. I have sad news, though. You can't, I'm not gonna bother showing you because I tried earlier. It's not showing up on camera. This disc is scratched to hell. Like I said, I had this when I was a kid. Like, this thing, it might be older than you watching right now. I don't know how young my people who view my videos skew, but YouTube viewers in general, I feel like skew younger. This might be younger than you. This might be older than you. So, yeah, this thing's been through some shit. But yeah, that is everything that is on this outstanding disc. This was a lot of fun to reminisce on. I remember growing up watching these when I was a little kid. Hope you guys enjoyed seeing all these episodes. So that may sound like an outro. But yeah, I mean, just fun to take a look back at this. So that's the full collection of the Best of Power Rangers, the Ultimate Rangers. Like I said, what a fun collection of Ranger episodes. But if I could critique it, I think they could have picked a better batch of episodes, at least in terms of introducing all the Rangers before seeing them in Forever Red, building up to Forever Red. Because the way it's structured now, you don't know Tommy was a Red Ranger, you don't know TJ was a Red Ranger, you don't see Oriko, the Red Alien Ranger, you don't see Wes, the Red Time Force Ranger, or Eric, the Quantum Ranger, before watching Forever Red. Cole isn't introduced until Forever Red, but since he's framed as a rookie, I think it works more. So the batch I would have chosen would probably be something like this. Power Rangers of Two Worlds. This is the Alien Ranger Zeo crossover. So you see Tommy as Red, and meet the team leader. You meet Oriko. You meet Jason as a character, but don't see him as Red. So maybe it's a fun reveal that he's Red when you first watch Forever Red. Can't remember if it gets mentioned during the crossover, but he used to be a Red Ranger. Then I would keep Countdown to Destruction because it is the best finale in Power Rangers history. If someone said this is the best 2 episodes in Power Rangers, like as a one after another, I would probably agree off the top of my head. At least up there. And it's totally deserving of being included in this collection because while I like setting up Forever Red, which this still does by introducing you to Andros as Red in space. You meet TJ as a character, even though you don't know he's a Red. Be another reveal in Forever Red. You also see the Astro Megaship, because the Astro Megaship 2 is used in Forever Red. But more importantly, this collection is still supposed to be the best of Power Rangers, seeing the stakes at its highest in Power Rangers, the best use of human civilians in the show's history, so it makes the cut. Then we keep Trakeena's Revenge, meeting Leo and Carter, and also it's also just great seeing the teams combine in the Megazord so that's a pretty unique experience to this crossover. So that's going to keep it in. Then we're going to add reinforcements from the future, which I know that means we're going to have Wild Force with 2 arcs. But I don't know, it just works for me. I can understand not liking this. This is just what I would do, my opinion. This just works for me. Because now we get introduced to 3 Red Rangers in this. We get to see Wes. We get to see Eric. We get to see Cole. When Cole says he already knows Wes and Eric, you get to be in on it. You get to know what happened. Like that little wink, the little laugh, the handshake they give each other. You know the history behind that. It adds to that moment. Also, you get to see some of the better couplings we've seen in Power Rangers history with Wes and Jin, the best couple in Power Rangers history. And then Eric and Taylor, which is the best cross-season pairing of any Rangers, regardless of the kind of relationship we've ever seen. Then this leads us into Forever Red, with every Ranger there being introduced to you in some way before this grand crossover. So that's how I would make the Ultimate Rangers collection for this era of Power Rangers. Would you like to hear me make this kind of collection for the other era of Power Rangers? Let me know in the comments below. But that's going to do it for this episode, guys. I really hope you enjoyed another Power Rangers video. At the time of recording, my Ninja Storm video came out like 2-3 days ago. It's been doing really well. I think it's up to like 700 views. Several comments, which really makes things better. A good bit of likes. So if you guys haven't seen that, go check it out. It might be my best video, but thank you to the support on that video. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. But yeah, so subscribe if you can. Become a member if you want to keep seeing these Power Ranger related videos. I keep wanting to buy stuff for these videos, and becoming a member would just help me be able to do so. Also, I think I'm going to start putting up all my videos a day early on Patreon. So if you want to, catch these maybe earlier, my high quality videos like this one earlier, go over to Patreon, become a member, any tier. I'm going to start putting them up early over there. So check that out. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Can't wait to do more of these. And as always, keep gaming.